my cup with some Java love. Sit on down, let's talk it up. I know some laughing lattes, laughing lattes.
Welcome to Life and Lattes with Liv and Cole. I'm Cole.
And I'm Liv.
Welcome to episode 25.
We made it.
We did.
I don't know why I said that.
Right. Started from the bottom, now we're here.
Yep. Seems like 25 is like a milestone, you know? Like 25, 50, 70.
Quarter of 100, I don't know. We have a guest today. Andrew Ursprung is on the show. Welcome, Andrew.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Hi.
Thanks for coming on.
Oh, absolutely. I love driving out to here in the middle of nowhere. No, I love it, though.
So for those of you who don't know, the studio is actually inside of a barn in Martinsville at my parents' house. And so when we have guests, like Andrew came out today, he was like, oh, okay.
What?
And, you know, it's I want to say it's probably like a good hour from downtown, probably.
Yeah, it took me an hour.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
And I'm sure that you want to go ahead and make your joke, so go ahead, because
Oh.
I did ask if there was horses here.
Oh. Yes, which is really funny. And I don't know how I've not made this joke yet. But yeah, he asked if there were horses here, and I said yes, that there were horses in the back. So, you know, I had to do it. I had to do it. So, I just, you understand.
yes, I know. And along with that, too, Andrew's our first non-coffee drinker on the show.
Yeah, I don't know how that
Shame.
happened, really. You know, I feel like
I know.
if we would have known previously, talking about him having him on the show, we'd have been like, I don't think it's going to work out, you know.
Somebody had to be the first. That's
Just
all
kidding.
I'm saying.
Well, the funny
You're
thing
welcome.
is when we actually met you for the first time in person, we did have this conversation.
I know.
I completely forgot.
Yeah, we're the worst.
It's okay.
I honestly didn't know you were going to be on the show till this morning.
Shut
I'm
up.
serious. She didn't tell me.
He's lying. He's literally
I looked at the
lying.
outline and I was like, oh, Andrew's going to be on today.
Hey, that's all right.
It
We
was
roll
a
with
great surprise.
It makes it way better for podcasts.
I know, right? Just show up, be like, so who am I seeing today?
By the way. Yeah, it makes it way better.
Oh.
Well, Andrew's not drinking
Cheers.
it, but we are drinking. So, Liv, what are we drinking today?
We are drinking the Starbucks Blonde Roast today.
Because blondes have more fun,
Hell
right?
the Veranda.
I don't know.
Blend?
Are you a real blonde?
I was going to say, I don't know if she counts.
No,
As a blonde. I'm just saying as a blonde.
I just gave him a sassy
Just.
look. Yeah. I am not naturally blonde. I'm more like a lighter brunette.
Okay, so you can't claim it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can.
You can't just switch to blonde and be like,
That'd
blondes
be like
have more fun.
What
that'd
are
be
you
like
doing with your
that'd be
arms
like
right
me
now?
saying that I'm a blonde.
Right.
No. If you dyed your hair blonde,
That
then
doesn't
you can
count.
say it. Yes, it does.
That's fake.
You're
blonde.
still a blonde.
It's fake blonde.
I'm with
Still
I'm
blonde.
with Andrew on this item.
Still blonde.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to leave. You
So-
guys can do the show together.
Okay, so if you have an Instagram account and all you do is post about all you do is post stuff about being a millionaire and you're not really a millionaire, are you a millionaire?
That's not the same at all.
kinda
Because
close.
I
It's
physically... It's not.
That actually was good.
I physically have blonde hair. Like, just because
But
it's
you
not
dyed it.
naturally doesn't mean that it's not blonde.
It's okay. I still love you. It's okay.
I feel triggered right now. I don't know why.
You seem triggered.
I'm really, hyped right now.
She hasn't eaten
4 cups of coffee.
4 cups of coffee.
5 o'clock this morning.
Triggered. Anyways,
About the coffee.
right, blonde roast.
I started a fight. That's completely my fault. Not only do I not drink coffee, and now I started a fight between you two.
Get out.
It's our
right.
It's our first. It's our first fight. Okay. No, I was bound. to happen.
Alrighty then.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Calm down.
Don't.
Okay. Anyways, blonde roast. What is it? I want to say
Veranda?
veranda.
Blend. I've never had it before. But I usually steer away from blonde roast because it's not as strong.
Yes, it's mellow and soft.
Same.
I am curious though.
I don't know if that's true. I've known you for like 10 minutes, and I already can know that.
The only thing I'm curious here is what's up with the hummingbird?
I don't know.
It just doesn't seem relatable to the product whatsoever. Like, is there anything mellow or soft about a hummingbird?
Maybe soft. Maybe.
Have you
Maybe.
pet one?
You
Do you
can't-
know?
You could never catch
I
one.
said
then.
maybe.
I was just asking. See,
My
feisty.
God.
Just a question.
I don't know if it is soft. It doesn't seem mellow because it flaps its wings a lot.
Really fast.
Andrew and I are going to take a second to remove the eggshells we are currently walking on.
Oh. What? I don't even. What's happening right now? Seriously.
I
Liv's
started
like,
a war.
Stop, restart the podcast.
Yeah.
Delete this
Legit,
now.
though. I'm just going to drive home. Y'all can do this.
It's the 5 a.m. I'm sure that's
gotta be
Who
it.
wants
not.
to get up at 5 a.m. on a Saturday? Just saying.
Not me.
Okay,
No.
but like, let's rewind here. Okay, I said it may be soft.
We're still on this? Yes. Oh, okay.
Man. Anyways, coffee's great. So is Liv. And, did you put anything else in here?
I should have.
Is there
Granted,
cream in the coffee?
Yes, it's just vanilla.
Okay, super good. I
Okay.
like it. It is very mellow, and I'll deal with that today. I like it. I've been drinking a lot stronger stuff, so it's nice to switch it up.
All right, great.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Moving on. Okay.
I feel like
Andrew,
that's the most
let's
intense
focus on you,
start.
bud. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay though. You know, you got to have all the different kinds, and we're just being real here.
Okay.
It's all good. Look, you gave me this girly mug. I'm gonna sip out of this girly mug all day today. Is it sparkly?
It's not sparkly. It's just gold.
shiny.
it is shiny.
Yeah.
I like the mug.
The mug's great. I like your mug the best though.
It is really cute.
It's leopard print.
Yeah, it matches my hair tie.
At first, I
My
thought that.
scrunchie.
Did you do that on purpose?
Yes.
Oh, my.
I honestly
100.
thought at first that they were lips, and then I realized that
No,
it
it's
was
leopard print.
Leopard print.
Some of them do kind of look like lips.
Moving on.
Okay, yep.
Okay.
Andrew. Okay, so the app. Andrew has an app. It's called What's Happening. Kind of give us a rundown. Kind of give us your elevator pitch on the app. And
Ooh, elevator pitch.
yes.
So, what's happening? Basically, quick version of it is I wanted locals to be able to basically connect with their city and connect with local businesses, but I also wanted travelers to be able to travel like a local. So I wanted to create something that you could get onto it, and it could literally tell you anything from bar and restaurant specials to citywide events, concerts. I've actually had churches reach out to me to put their events on there. I've had barbers reach out to me to put if they have like a chair open between, tomorrow between 1 and 2 on there, movie theaters. So it's kind of expanded a lot more, but I actually created the app a little bit selfishly. And because I like to travel, but I hate traveling to a place and getting there and then being like, all right, well, now what do I do?
Yeah.
Now where do I go? So of course, like I try to do like what most people do is use like Google and Yelp. But the only issue is like Yelp. I'm personally not a fan of Yelp. I don't like
either.
the review. Yeah, I don't. It's more for reviews, and if somebody's gonna leave a review, it's probably gonna be a bad review and whatever. And then so I try to use Google, but Google will only tell me a certain amount of like restaurants. It doesn't really tell me what they're doing. It tells me that they're there. So I wanted to create something that was a little bit deeper than like a Google or Yelp. So I wanted to tell you what was actually happening at that business. So
Nice.
Right on.
I have the app on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
I've used it a little bit. Have you?
Yep.
Yeah.
cool. Appreciate it.
Kind of. So obviously, like most inventions are born out of necessity. Like you saw a need, you filled that. How long has the app been out there? Like,
So I actually came up with the idea. So I'm from Michigan, and I went to school up in Grand Rapids, Michigan at Grand Valley. So I transferred there my sophomore year. And Grand Rapids at the time, it was beer capital of the United States. It was like the #1 place for millennials to move, to get a job. They have this thing called Art Prize, which brings like over 400,000 people to the city every year. So like the city just had a lot going on for itself. So when I moved there, I'm like, awesome, this will be a sweet city. It would be so much fun. So I move in blind with these roommates. I have no idea who they are. And so we're like, all right, like, let's just go explore. So we go downtown Grand Rapids, and then we all like,
now what?
yeah, now where do we go? So like that's when I actually came up with the idea was sophomore year, but I didn't do anything with it because I was like, I'll let somebody else create it, and then I'll just go ahead and use it. Senior year rolled around, and no one created it, so I was like, screw it, I'm going to do it. So I've been working on it since then. It's been on the actual app store for about a year now, year and a half, so yeah, I've been working on it for a while. But
So are you yourself a developer? Like,
I am not,
Okay.
actually. I'm not at all.
That's
I
okay.
call that side like the computer nerd side. And so my dad actually, I wish I was a computer nerd. They literally rule the world.
Yeah,
I'm
no
not
joke.
kidding. If you know that, you rule the world. So my dad is actually a computer nerd, so he helps me with that whole side of it.
okay,
So,
gotcha. So
and-
he's doing all the development.
So he does some of it. I've had multiple different dev teams as well.
Okay,
So like my
gotcha.
first dev team was a team of about 8. I've switched in and out. So yeah, his title is head of the nerds. So that's what he does with what's happening.
That's cool though. That's kind of fun that you get to do it with your dad and everything.
Oh yeah, and I've found out like. I keep calling them nerds. They speak their own language. Like the tech world literally
Yes.
speaks their own language, and so I have no idea what they're talking about. I created an app, and I have no idea what they're talking about. So at first, when I was first creating this app, we would have dev meetings, or I'd have meetings with my development team every single morning at like 7 a.m, and I'd be like, "Hey guys, like this is what I want," and then they would start talking and this and that and blah, and I'm like, no, like I just want something really simple. This is all I want. And they're like, yeah, we're doing that like this and this. And then I would confuse everybody. Everybody would get mad and I would get mad. And then it would just create this huge uproar, like the beginning of this podcast, how she was mad at us. And and then all of a sudden my dad finally, like after like a month of doing this, my dad finally came to me. He was like, hey, you trusted me with this side? Tell me what you want and I'll get it done. I was like, okay,
Right.
so
All right.
so what I learned was you need a translator that can take it from normal people language and translate it into,
Yep.
we'll call it tech language. So yeah, no, it's awesome having him. I wouldn't be able to do it without him. So
No, that's super cool. That's funny. I had a lot
Yeah.
of technical questions for you.
Yeah.
So now I know.
I can try to answer them, but I'll be honest with you.
It's all good.
The
It's all
tech side is not my side. Everything else is, right? So I came up with the company, the vision. I came up with pretty much everything with it. But yeah, as far as like the coding and actual development of it, yeah, it's not me.
Yeah. Well, and I get it like that there is like a whole other world when
Oh
it
my
comes to
gosh.
that. I was involved in a couple projects that were kind of similar, just app-wise in general.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so much easier to, even if you do kind of know what you're doing, it's so much easier to have a team of people that you can go to and go, look, this is really what we're trying to achieve here. But it is hard making that bridge
Oh yeah.
in between, like, hey, this is what I'm looking for, and these are the limits of the technology, and hey, this is what we're gonna do, and you're like, well, that doesn't sound right.
And they're like, no, I'm saying the same thing that you are.
No, you're not. though. No.
You're saying it completely different. That's not what I want. Like, yes, that's what you just told me that you wanted. All right, whatever. Just get it done, please.
So, like the base functionality of the app,
Mm-hmm.
it's just going out. I mean, so the businesses are coming to you.
Mm-hmm.
You're putting them into the program database, whatever, right?
So the way that I actually did it was so I told you I kind of started creating this senior year of college. During my senior year of college, I actually I was building 2 restaurants out in Des Moines, Iowa, and Ankeny, Iowa is one of them. And so at the same time that I was trying to like start this app and come up with the creation of it all, I still needed a real job. So I was fortunate enough to get an opportunity with a franchisee. So I actually moved from Grand Rapids, Michigan, out to Des Moines, Iowa. I was area manager for the state of Iowa for this franchisee. Ended up taking over Iowa and Chicago. And then I ended up taking over the whole company, actually, and becoming vice president of operations for the company. So then that's how I ended up down here in Indianapolis. So Indiana, Chicago, and Iowa. And so when I created this app and the back end and everything for the actual businesses, I wanted to make sure that I kept the business owner in mind, right? Because if somebody would have came to me with this idea when I was still running all those restaurants, I would have said, great idea, too time consuming. I don't want to have to deal with it. So what I did was for like the actual businesses, they actually get to control everything that they put onto the app. So they get to control all of their specials, all of the events, everything that they market on the app. And what I did was I made sure that I kept them in mind. So they can actually do everything themselves, and it takes only about 30 seconds.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
they can add events, they can change events literally within 30 seconds because I did not want it to be time consuming.
Right, right. And so, with that being said, so is it just built like on top of like Google Maps or something?
Kind of, yeah. So the IPAs for that is it pretty much all runs off of the location. So a lot of it is from the Google Maps.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, because I was curious, like obviously, like where the event's happening. There's got to be a geo
Fencing.
Know,
it's
yes.
a lot of geofencing,
Yeah.
geotagging, all of that stuff. You are correct. Yes, I know enough about that I can talk about that.
You're like,
but
yes.
It's like, I know that.
I know a little bit about that.
Cool. Yeah, because I was just curious. Because, like I said, when I pulled it up, I was just messing with some of the functionality of it. Now, I did see, and obviously, I don't have any of this functionality right now, but like with the friends and the chat function of it, how does that work? Like,
So you can add friends on there, right? And then what I created was obviously once you add a friend, then you can chat in there, right? And then I also created something called Cruise that you'll see on there as well. So
Okay.
what I wanted Cruise to be like is, for people like me, I have friends since I've lived kind of all these other places. I have my group of friends from Michigan, from Iowa, from Chicago, from down here, and then even down here in Indianapolis, I still have my group of friends, like different groups of friends. So I wanted to create Cruise, so that was like, when I go to Michigan, like I can just hit up my crew in Michigan, which is just my friends, like 5 of my friends, 6 of my
Gotcha.
friends, and so it's basically like a group chat just between you and your friends. I just called it Cruise.
interesting.
Yeah,
That's cool, though.
yeah, I like it. It's a little bit different.
Yeah, I mean, to have that functionality, I wouldn't have expected that. That's why I was like, interesting. Chat.
Yeah, I wanted it so that way, like, right. So if I go to, because eventually I have more on the dev side that we're building out, especially for like the functionality for the users. So you'll see in the next couple of years with the updates and stuff like that where I'm going with it. But I wanted it to be able to, like, if I go up to Chicago and I have my crew up there, my friends up there, I can like find an event, I can find like a concert hall, or I can find like a special or whatever, and I can send it in that crew, and I can be like, hey, have you guys ever been here? And then they can be like, yeah, I was there last weekend, it was awesome, okay, thinking about going to it, you guys want to go too, like all this stuff. So that's why I created it.
Gotcha. Do you have any competitors?
So as far as like direct competitors, not really. I mean, you got your Google and Yelp are like
Right.
two, but they tell you that a business is there, not really like what's actually happening at that business. So there was like, I've seen them come and go since I have been working on it for so long. There was one, actually a kid from Butler actually made it. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. It's no longer around, but his was kind of similar, but it was more for like skipping the line at bars and bar specials and stuff like that. So I've seen like a couple of them. There's one out and it's pretty much like the same thing called Bar Life, but it's really only for California. It's again for skipping lines at bars and stuff like that. So I haven't really seen one that's oriented for pretty much all the hospitality world.
Right.
So that way like a mom can use it and find stuff to take her family to. But she can also find it for like Wine Wednesday with the girls too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's really what I wanted. I wanted it to be able to for everybody to use.
Yeah.
And you're laughing. 'cause I
You have a
know
much
that you're
broader
using for that.
audience. I get that.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why I named it What's Happening. So that way it was everything. It was
Right.
all inclusive.
Yeah. No, that's smart. I like that. So no background in apps.
No. My background all comes from the hospitality world. So I've done a lot of stuff in hospitality. So I've done basically everything. Started off as like bus boy, right? Server, you name it, host. I've
Got to
done
start
it.
at the bottom.
Definitely. And my parents, like growing up, like there was 5 of us kids, so there's 7 of us in the family, right? So like my family was, oh, you want that? You better go work so that way you can pay for that. So like I literally started
Yep.
working at like 13. So and being a busboy was like the easiest thing ever. So I started like that, and before I knew it, I was managing really nice fancy restaurants. I had worked at resorts, casinos, golf courses. I mean, so I've done a little bit of it all
Okay.
the way up to where I ended up before I left that world. So
Oh, okay. So you're not in that anymore.
I'm not. No. Once I left working with the franchisee, running all of his restaurants, I ended up leaving that. Started to see some success from what's happening, so left that, and
Gotcha.
here we are.
So are you full time with the app?
Almost now, just
Okay.
about.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, so I'm really excited. It is starting. It is mainly in Indianapolis. That's pretty much where the only thing that I'm focused on is Indianapolis.
Right.
The app itself you can download anywhere, but really I just have businesses on in Indianapolis.
Right.
I will say, like, up in Chicago, I'm growing. So now I have businesses on and stuff like that up in Chicago, a little bit in Michigan, Pittsburgh. So, like, I'm really starting here in the Midwest. And like I said, my main focus is just Indianapolis. So to watch it grow, like, naturally all by itself. Like,
Yeah.
I have businesses on in Florida, in New York, Oregon. So it's like, how are people finding out about it? I don't know, but it's a good problem to have. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. It's working.
So yeah, like I said, I created something selfishly. So it's just cool to see, like, you know, other people be like, oh my gosh, yeah, I love that. Like, I didn't know that was you. Like that, it happens to me now. It's starting to happen to me more, and it's awesome. It's a really cool feeling. I just ran into a business owner 2 nights ago, and we just were talking, and he was like, oh, what do you do? I was like, oh yeah, what's happening? And he was like, wait, I was sitting at the bar last night and they were talking about what's happening. It tells you like specials and this and that. And I was like, yeah, that's it. And he goes, that's you? And he was like, I was like, yeah. And he was like, what are you, like the franchisee or something for it? And I was like, no, I started the company. I created it. And he just kind of looked at me. And I was like, yeah, that happens all the time. Because I look like I'm like 20, but no, I'm not that young.
How old are you?
25.
Oh, okay.
So I'm still young, but
Yeah.
I'm not.
I still got you beat.
Yeah.
Not by much. So you don't have to talk about it if you don't want to, but of course I'm very curious. So how are you making money?
So the businesses pay to be on the app.
Okay.
Right, because it's a marketing platform for them. So what I want to do
Right.
for the business side, because I do come from that world, it's super hard to market. It's super hard to market your restaurant. And like, of course, you still see billboards, which blow my mind that people still spend money on billboards. But hey, I mean, honestly, with today's day and age, people now, instead of like buying billboards, now they're buying billboards on these social media sites, right? So I laugh at billboards because people are just driving by them. Right. And like you see it for a second and then you keep driving and you don't even know what you just looked at. Like, right. You forget it right away. Same thing on these social media sites.
Or like we drove by one today. And so I'm in real estate.
Yeah.
And it's a competing real estate company. And I did not do it, I swear. Somebody got up there and painted horns and a mustache on this lady, like on the billboard.
Do you remember what the billboard company was, though?
I do not.
See?
I know. I know. Well, you mean like whose company it was?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's Pitcher Real Estate.
okay.
I know that much. Well, just the thing is like it's the same drive
Yeah.
to get here. So
Every time.
and I know that. I don't know them, but I know the company, right?
Know
You
of
gotta
them.
know your competitors.
That's
And I was-
hilarious.
Yeah.
That's
Audrey,
You so
Audrey saw
did
it. I didn't even see it. She goes, they drew on that. I was like, oh, man.
That's funny.
You can't deface an ad online.
Well, so now...
It defaced it. It reminds me of the Office episode where when Andy's the boss and they do like they've dropped their prices. Do you watch The Office?
Not too much. I know. No coffee and hardly The Office. I know.
Strike two.
But
All right.
the billboard thing, right? So businesses now are basically doing the billboard thing just on social media. So now businesses, right? Like social media is the thing now, right? So all of these bars, restaurants, and anybody really in any business has to be on social media. So the problem is now businesses and restaurants specifically are spending a lot of money on these social media sites to promote their posts, to run ads on these social media sites. But the problem is people are using these social media sites to find out like how many kids their high school friend has now, right? They're not going to scroll through, see your thing, stop, click on it, look to see what you have going on. Yep, let's go there tonight instead of do whatever we were doing. No, they keep scrolling by what you're paying for. So like these businesses are getting, 30,000 interactions, spending a lot of money every single month on them, but is that actually driving revenue into their doors? So what people are seeing or businesses are seeing with marketing on what's happening, putting their businesses on what's happening is people are only using what's happening to find out what's happening, right? They're with their group of friends. They're just looking for a place to go and make their next best memory. So
Yeah, exactly right. I don't want a Ruth's Chris ad as I'm going through Instagram.
You got it.
Now, a product, something I can physically buy, that's something I'm fine with. But it's like, why am I going to stop on that and be like, oh, look, tonight it's buy one steak, get one free.
right.
And you don't actually have any ads on the app, correct?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Nope.
That's super nice.
Yeah, there's no like actual ads on the app. It's all like it's just for people that are looking for something to do. Right.
Yep.
So, especially in a city like Indianapolis, there's over 1 million people come to Indianapolis just for conventions alone. So just in the convention industry, we have over 1 million people that come here every single year for it. And that's not even talking about the sports and this and that, the concerts. That's literally just the conventions. So that even the city is starting to take note that what's happening is like, wow, like this is actually something really good for the city because we're bringing people in not knowing what to do here, and now they can download this, and now they know everything that's going on. There's no more like asking the hotel front desk lady. There's no like, hey, saw you on the side of the street. Like, can you help me? Like, where do I go? Like,
Right? Where's the best place to go?
that literally happens to me all the time downtown Indianapolis. So like, I'll be like sitting outside downtown Indianapolis talking, whatever, and then like, I'm not kidding. It happens all the time. Like some people, hey, are you guys from here? Like, yeah. Like, what's up? Do you know where to go or what to do? And every time I'm like, yeah, there's this cool app that we use here. It's called What's Happening. You should just check that out. I don't really know.
Heard it's awesome.
Yeah.
I do it every time.
That's super smart. I never even thought about that because like that's the truth. Like we go to the same places every time just because like
Yeah.
you just
You don't know where else to go.
yeah. You're
So
like,
you just go there.
Yeah.
Exactly. And like for something like me, right? Like this works for locals because just like what you're talking about, right? To keep up with your favorite restaurant, like you might go to your favorite restaurant all the time, but do you know what specials they're running on Tuesday,
Yeah,
on
like
Wednesday,
never.
on Thursday, on
Yes.
Saturday, on Sunday? So like
Wednesdays at Kilmer.
well, we do know
And
Wednesdays.
Brothers.
Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
right.
but like do you know everything else every other night? Mondays?
No.
Exactly.
No.
No.
Yeah, that's like it's just the one night.
Just one.
So that's why, right? So like it helps with locals too because now people are, finding out not only what's happening on Wednesday nights, half off. I'm just saying.
And that's why we know Wednesdays.
But now you know that, Thursdays they have this going on, Fridays they have this going on. So it's really nice for the businesses because now it's bringing in people on that Wednesday, but now they're also seeing you on Thursday, on Friday, on Saturday, on Sunday. So it works out really well for the businesses. And they're starting to see, and Gary Vee's been preaching this for a very long time if you're in the industry, right? And I noticed this a long time ago too, but businesses are now no longer wasting 90 cents on every single marketing dollar. Now with what's happening, that's not the case anymore, just simply because people are only using what's happening to find out what's happening.
Yep.
They have the money in their pocket. They're with their best friends. They're just trying to find a place to go. So.
Yep. Have you, I don't know if it does this or have you thought about doing like a, kind of like a pay to be at the top type of thing?
Yeah. Yeah. So there's different marketing. There's different price points. So, yeah.
I did a little digital marketing for a while, like out of school. So
Yeah.
I was just curious.
There's different price points for businesses, but it's all worth it, I swear.
No, it sounds like it. Like, again,
Yeah.
there is no direct, competitor,
Right.
which is, that's the market you want to be in, right?
It's crazy to me that there's not I literally can't find, I search almost every single day, right? I've seen apps there's other apps like Maply and Eventful and Bar Life and these other ones that are similar, but they don't, again, it's just more like a Google. Like it's so funny because even Facebook is trying to come up with an app like mine. What's it called? Facebook, man, of course, now I can't remember the name of it. It's called like Live or City or something like that. I can't remember the exact name of it, but they're creating a second app, a spinoff off of Facebook, just because they know that this space needs to be filled and it's not yet. But again, even their app, Facebook, massive company, right? Trying to create something like mine, and they can't figure it out either like I did. Now they're just basically like another Google, and that's why it hasn't taken off yet. That's why I can't remember the name off the top of my head.
Right.
That's probably
Never
why you
heard
guys
of
have
it.
never heard of it, right? Because it's not taking off because all it is it's just another Google. Like literally, you get on there and it tells you that this business is there or that business is there. But again, it's not all of them, and it doesn't tell you what's actually happening at them.
So let's say we're like 2-3 years down the road, and one of them comes to you. You gonna sell?
No. I say that now, but
Gonna pull a Snapchat? Be like, no,
right.
I don't want your $1 billion.
Right, they literally said no to Facebook for 2.3 billion or
Yeah.
something. I say that now, just because I do have so many other plans that I
Right.
want to do with it.
When you don't know, I mean, 2-3 years down the road, maybe
right.
your revenue model, maybe it is working,
Right.
10, 20, 30 times better. You don't know.
Right.
Or maybe you're like, the technology is great, but I can't market it outside of Indiana. Like, who knows, right?
Right. And I have this idea, right? Because I created the app so that way if you are in Indiana, you can use it in California, in China, in Australia, and literally take it global. Obviously, it's not there yet, but that's where I see this thing going. So I have, different ideas, different things that I want to do with what's happening. And I kind of created an LLC. So one of the things that's underneath the LLC is the app. And then I have other things I want to do underneath that LLC as well.
Right.
So I don't know if I would
reach
sell
out
it.
to businesses? Like, how did you even initially get them on here?
Oh my gosh. You want to talk about hard work? Oh. Yeah. So
That's
that's
difficult.
been interesting.
Yeah.
Because especially not being from Indianapolis, now they have some random person that is like coming in and like, hey, you want to be on this? Please. So yeah.
Along with people coming in and going like, hey, use our POS system,
Right.
use Open Table.
Exactly.
And there's all these other things. And they're
Oh my
like,
gosh.
it's only, $10 a month.
Right.
But like that times all the other stuff that you're doing.
Right.
That's a tough market, especially there.
They literally get hit up at home, like people walk into their businesses all the time. So yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I started off, of course, like you have to hit the streets, like literally just door knocking, going in, cold calling. But working for what's happening, I will say, is pretty awesome because my work and what I found out was you go into the business, right? You go in when it's a little bit slow. You sit at the bar, you have a drink. And you start talking to the bartender. The bartender's like, oh, what do you do? Oh, this app. And then it's like, oh, my gosh, this app's awesome. Like, we should be on this. I'm like, yeah, you should. Is the manager around? They'd be like, yeah, let me go grab him. I'm like, sweet.
Great.
So I figured out after a little while, like, that was one way to do it. And now it's getting to the point where I do have, like, a small sales team. So now we actually have businesses that reach out to us. Granted, we do still reach out to other businesses. We now have like a bit more of a presence and a name here in Indianapolis. So that makes it a little bit easier for us too. But yeah, starting off slow and steady,
Yeah.
let me tell you.
So do you have a game plan for how you're going to do that? I guess, at least in the U.S. / globally. Because obviously, yeah, go for that.
Yeah, so what I want to do, right, is I created a way that basically, and I'm not the first one to do it, so I created a way so that way if somebody from, let's say a kid from like Austin, Texas hears about the app, right, and he's like, oh my gosh, this app is so cool, but why are there no businesses on down here in Austin, Texas? That doesn't make sense. And they're like, hey, like, uncle, you own 10 different businesses, like, check out this app, would you like it? He's like, yeah, that seems awesome. Like, how do I get involved and this and that? And so then the uncle is like, comes to my website, signs up. So they actually don't have to talk to me at all. They don't have to talk to anybody on the What's Happening team. They actually just go to my website, register. They do it all themselves. And boom, they're all in. They never talk to me. I never talk to them. And they're good to go. So now, right, that kid that went to his uncle who has the 10 businesses or whatever, now I pay that kid money because the uncle signed up, and when he signed up, he said that he heard it from.
Gotcha.
Yep. So I kind of created like an affiliated way for it to spread. That way you don't have to work for what's happening. If you just know somebody,
Yep.
I'll pay you for that. So.
Yeah.
No, that's smart. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool.
because then you can just get people to. I mean, they're essentially like getting a commission.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right. They're getting commission just from. Like,
Right.
Hey, that's my uncle anyway. So.
Yeah, and then they're
I
gonna
can talk to
go,
him.
well, shoot,
Right.
I know other people.
Right. So that's what I wanted to do. Like I wanted this, like even if you look at like the Instagram page and stuff like that, like it's not me on there. And like I have no pictures of myself on there or anything like that. It's all the city. It's all the people in the city. It's the people doing cool things in the city. And that's what I really wanted the face of what's happening to be. I didn't want it to be me. I wanted it to be the city. I wanted it to be the people doing things in the city, having fun in the city, using what's happening so that way they can find out, make their best, memory with their friends. So, so that's what even what the Instagram page is, and I tried to incorporate that on the business side as well, so that way, that kid can make a little bit of money, whether it's a college kid looking for a little beer money or whatever it may be, but
Right.
whatever. So
It all counts.
right.
No, yeah, I've looked through the Instagram page. You had some interesting people who I would say endorse the app.
Yeah,
That's probably the best way to go about it.
Yeah, so I have being in the tech world here in Indianapolis, you wouldn't expect it to be as prevalent as what it is. I will say that the tech industry here in Indianapolis is actually growing a lot. The state is taking note of it. The city is definitely taking note of it. So they're doing a lot of things to get tech people in here and to stay here. So yeah, I have tech friends that are on the Instagram page. I have Instagram models that are on the Instagram page. I have just random people, right? Everybody's an Instagram model nowadays, right?
I know, right?
So, yeah, that's a whole nother story. It's so weird to me to see people with like 20,000, 30,000 followers, and then they get like 50 likes on their, well, that's a whole nother story. But, so.
We like social media. What's the other story? What do you mean?
Nothing.
Yeah, no, that's just, and it's such an interesting, it's interesting how all that has kind of played out, because
I know. And now Facebook going away with likes, right? I think it's a fantastic idea, just because now, like, right, the second Facebook goes away with likes here in the States, because right now they're testing it out in 7 different countries. The second that they go away with the like people being able to see your likes and stuff like that, oh, I'm posting 30 times a day. I don't care about likes anymore. So shoot, I'm posting 1,000,000 times a day. I'm posting anything. I'm not thinking about it, right?
Yep.
Because I don't have to worry about, oh, did this get 200 likes? Oh, that only got 95 likes. Oh, how many people commented on this one? No one commented on this one, right? Like, that's why they're going away with the likes anyways, because people are so caught up in the likes and the followers and paying for it and this and that. So I think Instagram's doing, personally, I think Instagram's doing a really good thing with going away with it.
well, now you'll still be able to see your own on the other
Yep.
side.
Yep.
So, I mean, at least like, because I know influencers would freak out.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, at least, because that's like one of the first things you look at.
Is the amount of likes.
Like, you're like scrolling through and you're like, oh man, look at this. Like, I expected more on this one.
Right. Well, and it works like that for people too, right? Like, I'll scroll through my feed and like I catch like I don't even mean to do it. I'll be like scrolling through. I'm like, this person only got 20 likes on this one. I'm not gonna be one of them. You know what I mean? Like, I keep scrolling. Yep. I'm like, wow, like that's messed up. I'll go back and like it, but like people aren't liking pictures or aren't commenting on pictures just because they only got 20 likes instead of 200 likes or whatever it is. So I think it's a good idea for Instagram just to go away with it completely.
You can see it on your own, but other people can't see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
that's
so if you're scrolling through your feed, you're not gonna see like these are all the people that liked it. You know, it's just like nope, just like it's going through.
And they
I don't like that.
Really?
Yeah.
I want to hear your input because we
like
agree. I see what you did there. I want to hear your input on it because we agree on it. Why do you want to be able to see the likes?
I just am curious, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see who likes what.
Well, it's just like for me, it feels like one of those things, like if you have the preconceived notion, like let's talk maybe like high school, like you have the preconceived notion that kid's the popular kid, that has its own ideals around it, and so it's like if you don't see the like count, I feel like on a picture, you don't have that preconceived notion that like this is a popular thing.
That's yeah.
I feel that it levels the playing field more when it comes to it, so you're not like I think it leads to more unbiased opinions about what you're seeing posted.
I bet people will get more likes than what they're getting right now if it goes away.
I think so too.
That is so strange. Really?
Yeah, because
I do not base my likes off of the likes that already exist or do not exist.
Well, there'd be times I'll see a picture that maybe he's got like a lot, like we're talking
and
like
I won't
tens
like
of thousands. And I'm like, yeah.
I won't like it. If it has that many likes, I'm like,
Why?
I don't know.
I'm like, everybody already did,
everyone,
right?
Yeah, everyone already did. Like, I don't need
Why
to be
do I
want to
be a part of that? Yeah.
Right.
Go on.
Yep, I keep scrolling.
Because really the thing I normally do is I just like the stuff that I feel deserves it. Like, I'm like, I see your guys' stuff and I'm like, I like that because I want to support that. Not because I'm adding to it or anything like that, because I support it and because I find that interesting. Like, I like it because I like it.
I agree. I'm with you. And that's what Instagram is trying to do.
That's not what you're saying. You're not saying you're liking it because you're liking it. You're saying you're liking it if essentially it doesn't have 1 million likes.
Well, no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's some of the stuff that if you do see it has like 1 million likes, you're like, okay, like I don't need to be on this train.
Right. Like, for example.
But if it's something that really means like it
So
means
weird.
it, then
Why?
I'm in.
Oh, so I overthink
I
it too. Like, I'm like, oh, okay. Like, you want to talk about Ariana Grande for a second? Well, let's go ahead. Right? Love Ariana Grande, right? Love her. She gets millions of likes on all of her pictures. She doesn't need me liking it too. So
Yeah.
I literally don't like any of her pictures on Instagram. Like, why would I? You're already getting millions of likes. Like,
What's the point?
what am I going to do for you? But like what he's saying, like if I know this person and like if I actually know them or if I actually like their picture, I'm going to like it.
Yeah, more than anything, Instagram and stuff like that is about being able to support other people that I know and their businesses and things.
Right, and that's what Instagram is trying to go to is more like just for the picture.
Strange.
Yeah,
Look at her.
she does.
I don't know. That's
I
just
don't, like,
honestly
that's
that's just
not my mentality at all.
that's why I think it'll be interesting. I mean, obviously, it's more of an experiment than anything.
It essentially sounds like you're kind of wow, choose words wisely.
That's okay. Just give it to me. I can take it. You know I can.
It honestly kind of sounds like you are a Democrat in that you're taking the likes away from people who have a bunch of likes to give them to people who don't because they already have enough likes.
More like Robin Hood.
I like that one better.
I mean,
kind
right?
of, yeah.
I guess that's one way to look at it.
Yeah. In its simplest form, I guess you could say that.
Right,
yes.
right.
It's
I'd
so-
put more
that's-
thought into it
that
than
is so
that. But
interesting.
That's what
I
I
don't
was
know
thinking.
how we've not thought of that before or talked about this before.
well, that's because nobody had stimulated the conversation, right? Now Facebook is going, hey, why don't we take these out and see what happens, right?
Yeah,
That's
Facebook's
so
testing the same thing.
interesting.
I forget what I watched the event because they do their F8,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that Instagram talked about it first, and then Facebook obviously follows suit because they own.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't remember their exact reasoning behind it. I know they had like a long drawn out like reasoning.
Yeah, it was more to like put emphasis just on the picture alone, not the likes, because people do the opposite of what we're talking about. People like, oh, that's got a lot of likes. Let me like that too, just because it has a lot of likes. Oh, this has a lot of comments. Let me just comment this too.
This is actually
People
like
overthink
blowing
it.
my
Oh, yeah.
mind.
Oh, people overthink it
Because
a lot.
I just am like, do I like the photo? Yeah, I do like that photo.
That's like the person that's
Or-
like first.
But I'm not doing it for that reason.
No, I know.
Either like I like the content or the photo, or like their caption is good. And I'm like, yeah, that was good content. Like it. The amount of likes has no like play into my liking.
Well, because of because of what's happening Instagram page, like I use a lot of pictures from like other photographers and stuff like that in the city because they take a lot better pictures than I do. So I'm like, hey, like, can I use this? I've seen photographers with, this amazing picture with 20 likes on it. And I'm like, what? This picture is absolutely amazing, but they don't have that many followers, right? And then I'll see a different photographer that has 20,000 followers, and the photo that they took could be almost the exact same, but it wasn't edited the same. So personally, like I don't think it looks that good, but that has 500 likes just because they have more followers, stuff like that. So like I'll try to like help out like the little guy or whatever, and like, hey, can I post this on my thing? Tag you in it, do all that stuff. But it's just the likes and everything. It's interesting. There is a huge debate going
You
on
pay
right
attention
now
to
about
them. I mean, you just do.
That's
When you
so
see them, you see them. I'm like,
interesting.
Although the only thing I hope they don't take away, I do think it's kind of cool that it shows you like these are a couple of your friends that like this too. Because like it makes me laugh. Because like I'll see a post by John Mayer and I'm like, oh, Kate already liked this.
Yeah, I like
Big surprise.
I like in that way. I do like to see who likes the photos.
Yeah. Now, okay, so on this subject, I'm interested. Since go ahead.
I will say I created a social media app. I'm not a big social media fan.
Yeah.
I will say. So like with my app, like it's not really a social media app, I guess. But what I wanted to create was like, I'm sick of like everybody like looking down at their phones all the time. Like you go to the airport and like literally everyone's looking down at their phones. No one's talking to anybody. And like me being from a small town up in Michigan, like when you walk down the side of the road, like you say hi to everybody. Like you may not even know this person. You walk down Indianapolis and no one's looking at you. Everyone's looking down at their phones, this and that. And I think that, more people are trying to switch that and more people are conscious of that with how much time they're actually looking down at their phones and stuff like that. So with what's happening in I didn't create it originally for this reason, but it's kind of turned into this, is I tell you that a business is there or that this is happening there, and then you go to it and then that's it. Right. You can't post photos on what's happening about it. You can't, blog about it. You can't do anything else. So what do? You put your phone in your pocket and you enjoy it.
Right.
So I wanted to, hey, go over there and then go enjoy it. Get off your phones.
So do you use any of the features? I forget what it's called on iPhone. On Android, it's called digital well-being. I don't know what it's called on iPhone.
Where it tells you like how much FaceTime and everything that you've had, or
yeah, it'll give you all the stats on how much you're using your apps and all that stuff, and you can actually limit yourself as well. Like you can say 30 minutes a day on Instagram or whatever, and then it essentially grays out the app after that.
I wish I could use that. I'm kind of scared to look at it, to be honest with you. But also because like I do have to have obviously like a social media presence for what's happening.
Yeah,
Like
I understand that. It's a little different.
Unfortunately, on it all the time.
Yeah, right.
If in a perfect world, like I wouldn't be on it as much. So once I get to that level and I can give that job to somebody else, gladly I will.
Yeah.
So that
Do
way
you
I
know
don't
how
have
to?
to.
Do you know how to get into
Give me
it?
that job. I'll do it. Huh?
Pull it up.
What?
Do you know how to look at them?
I don't know how to look at it either.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, see, I'm
I
scared
don't
to look
actually
at
think
mine.
I know how to get on it, but I do know that
I think it's in your
it does
settings.
give it to me.
I don't. Again, like I am not an Apple person, so I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
You have
This is so I bought this. Okay, so Google gave up on tablets. That's just all there is to it.
fair enough.
Now Samsung's got some good offerings, but this was $250, so I was like, yeah. And it's really more for my kids than anything.
That's true.
I
I'm still,
have
like,
been on
after
it for
using
2
this-
hours and 48 minutes today.
Today. Okay, so like, what does yesterday
And
look
it's
like?
wait, you've already spent that time on it today,
Mhm.
and it's only what
Look
time?
at it. He's going.
Like I'm worried if you've spent that much time. I bet I've
11:30.
already done more than that. Like that's why I'm scared. Like it's 11:30. You've already been on it for almost 3 hours.
Does it show you what yesterday was? I was curious as a full day. I think the most I was like in a day was like 5 or 6 hours. I want to say.
I'm sure it's alarming. Oh boy, here we go.
alarming.
What do you got? What do you got?
This is what I mean. This is why I'm scared to
How
look.
many
That's why I'm
hours
not
were
gonna
you
look.
on it?
Oh, that's
Look at her.
rough.
She's scared out.
I know. She doesn't want to say.
I
But see-
don't.
What is
Please
it?
do.
It's
Come on.
8 hours.
Oh,
If you're at 8 hours, I'm probably
Average.
way more than that. See, yeah, that's why I'm scared to look at. So I'm not gonna look.
come on.
I'm.
But
too
I
scared to
do.
look.
Come
Oh,
on.
I do. Oh,
Pull it
yeah, yeah.
up. Pull it up.
Tell us.
I have no idea.
Come on, we're
How'd you
interested.
find it?
Oh, I don't like that. Ooh, I don't like
Well,
that.
okay, but
But I will say
there's the point though, because we're not conscious about this. Like you would have
No.
never
No.
guessed that number.
no.
But the fact that they've now built
I
this
don't
in
like
so that you can see your usage, like that's kind of crazy.
Oh, mine's not even on.
Turn it on.
Look at him.
Will
He's
it
like,
tell me if I turn it on? Will it tell me for yesterday?
I don't know.
See, like I don't even have my on because I.
What's
So
what's it called?
It's just called screen time.
Screen
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
So I will say I'm on my phone way too much, right? But I will say
we all are.
I do a lot of social media for other people and other accounts.
We're all in a specific boat here.
And
like,
so-
you're marketing a company. You do marketing for multiple companies.
Yeah.
And she does everything for the podcast for us.
Right.
I have 3-4 accounts on mine. I mean, it is a different.
Yeah.
It's a business tool.
Right.
As compared to somebody else.
That's what I was just gonna say.
Yeah. Can you look at yours?
Yeah, my average is 2 hours a day. And the whole week was 9 hours last week.
The whole week was
Wow.
one day for.
Wow.
Wow.
That makes me feel like a little bit bad, but also
Apps too.
Huh?
That's all my apps. That's Facebook.
Like all the above.
Yeah, not just Instagram. That's all of them.
yeah.
I kind of feel bad
Yeah.
for giving you crap about being on your phone now. But you know what's funny? You know what my number one app would
That's
be
like
on mine?
nothing.
Like
Yeah.
the number one app I use the most. Do you know what it is?
That you use?
Yeah.
I don't know.
If you say
something
Starbucks-
Google related.
No. It's the phone app. I spend more time on the phone, like the actual
Oh,
phone.
calling people.
Yeah, than
See,
anything else.
Yeah, but you
That's
don't have
funny.
an iPhone, so you can't FaceTime. I FaceTime everybody. It's so funny. Like
Really?
Yeah. When I pulled up here, I almost FaceTimed you because you don't have an iPhone, and I was like, wait, she doesn't know. We're not that good of friends yet, so like maybe I should just call her. Like I'm not kidding. Like I just
Interesting.
FaceTime everybody. Like
That's crazy.
I literally FaceTime everybody. Like I hardly ever make actual calls. I FaceTime
Interesting.
everybody.
I'm like slowly breaking, so Google Duo is what it's called on ours, and it actually works cross-platform.
Mm.
So like I normally like the people that I know, like you probably have it,
What?
Duo.
Mm-mm.
Okay, most
I
of the
did.
yeah, most of the people like I'll be like, hey, do you mind downloading this? Because like it's nice. Like she and
See,
I
but
use
you
it.
can also do that through Instagram.
Which see, I didn't even know that you could do that until you did it to me, and I was like, she's video.
Because you
calling
can
me?
call people through like Snapchat. You can do the same thing through Instagram too.
Yeah.
See, I didn't
And
know that either.
Facebook.
All of a
I
sudden, like
never-
she's,
I
I'm
knew-
like,
I knew
she's video
Facebook.
calling me on Instagram.
What is this?
Yeah.
I knew Snapchat. I knew Facebook. I didn't know Instagram was
Yeah.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which that's the thing. There's plenty of other ways to go about it.
Yeah.
The only thing is like, again, like you guys know, like FaceTime integrates your iPad on your MacBook. I mean, whatever you do, that's the same thing for me. Like Duo,
Right.
I can use Like I have all my Google Homes. I can make free calling throughout all those. Like all of that's connected. Like last night, I literally am just like, you know, I don't want to say it. My phone will probably go off, but like, you know, hey, you know, that word. And I'll be like, call mom. And it's like, okay. And just like the screen pops up, does a video call, and that's it.
It probably would have called his
Yeah.
mom if he would have. Like,
Yeah, I know. I was like, my phone's on airplane mode, so we should be okay.
That's so funny. Wow. I don't know how I feel about knowing those hours.
it's a lot. It's alarming, and that's
It is.
And
You're going to forget about it, though. Like, I look at mine all the time, and I'm always like,
well, I am.
oh, that's a
gonna-
lot. And then I'm like,
I am gonna get. I am
love my
gonna
phone.
forget about it because I get paid to do it. So
that's true.
I'm kind of like,
It's kind of. I mean, I guess if you're getting paid to do it, I guess 8 hours and right, like it's a normal work day.
yeah, true.
Right? Like
Yeah.
if you're getting paid to do it, that's different. But if you're just like, that's why I'm like 2 hours. Like you've already done 3 hours today.
yeah,
I'll pull mine
I've
up.
got 5 hours to go.
I'll pull mine up after we get off the podcast. But
Oh wow.
I'm glad mine's not even turned on.
Well,
now you know.
I don't know what to say really.
It's
I'm definitely on my phone more than I should be.
you know, I don't know. I have mixed emotions about it, to be honest with you. Like, I know it's not like the greatest thing. I get that. And I feel like if you can manage that time, like, you know, I mean, I don't know, right? Do you and Brad sit down and have dinner?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
No phones?
You're probably not on it then, right?
Yeah, that is something that we try to be like really intentional about, is not being on our phones when we're like spending time together.
That's what I mean. Like,
But
that's the stuff that counts. I mean,
Right.
like, and again, like you said, all of us are using it for work anyways. So, I mean, what's the difference between being on your phone for 8 hours and sitting in front of a computer for 8 hours?
right.
It's the same thing.
And Gary Vee talks about it all the time too. Like he's like, you know, people are always like, social media ruins lives. It's supposed to bring people connected, this and that. Well, it depends on how you use it.
Yes.
Right? Like,
Oh, preach
what he-
right now.
what he always says is like, you know, when you go to a restaurant and you see this young couple and both of them are on their phones and they're not talking, like Gary Vee's like, yeah, I mean,
That's
like
sad.
that's their life though. Like
Yeah.
that's normal to them, right? Like you see this 80-year-old couple, of course they're not going to be on their phones. And instead of them, like, you know, let's say that young couple, they're not, let's say just for example, like they're not going to last very long anyways. That's why they're both on their phones, because they can't hold a conversation. Then it's not stimulating, whatever it is, right? That 80-year-old couple, they don't have those phones to keep them distracted. So what are they doing? They're sitting there in silence, not looking, not talking to each other. Right.
Yep.
So now instead of us just sitting there in silence, not talking to each other, we have this thing in our hands that we can use. So now we're using that instead of just sitting there and staring at the
Yeah,
window.
it's just a generational difference. That's why I'm
Yeah.
like, you know, you can say whatever you want about it, but social media also has created how many opportunities for people that would have never been there.
Oh yeah, like I use it all the time. See, and again, it depends on like how you use it. Like I use social media all the time to like meet people.
Yep.
And like
It's a great networking
oh
tool.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. And then like
Obviously. Social network. Yeah. Anyways, sorry.
right.
I just said it and thought about it. And I was like, that sounds stupid.
You're so punny.
Thank you. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. No, I was just saying like I use it and then like I'll meet up with the person and then I'll put my phone away. Like I'm pretty intentional. Like I created an app or whatever for your phone, but like I try not to use my phone.
There is still nothing better than FaceTime.
Right.
Like face-to-face, actual human interaction. Like, people can't live without that. Like, that's unnatural and not right. And there's something to be said about actually being in front of somebody. You see body language, face movement, you know, eye movement. Like, all of those things play into a conversation that you just can't have on a phone.
Right.
And
It's true.
There's no replacement for that.
See, and that's why like videos on social media have become like huge,
Yep.
because you're seeing like you're sort of feeling like you're having that like face-to-face human contact.
Yeah.
And I don't know
It's
how you guys
closer.
are, but like I caught myself there for a little while. Like there was like a year in my life that I was like watching so many vlogs, and I got on one person's vlog and I watched like their entire like I'm sitting there like Casey Neistat
I was
has
gonna
like
say, nice stats.
thousands of videos, and I would sit there and just watch it, and all of a sudden it's like 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, whoa, what have I been doing for the past 8 hours? Like literally I'm like engulfed in his life. I know everything about him. We became best friends. And that's why the videos do so well, is
Yeah.
because now like social media, right? Like I would have never known who Casey Neistat was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And now that I've watched his videos, if I see him on the street, I'm like, "What's up, bro?" Like we're already best friends, right? And he's like, "Who are you?"
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
Like even like these podcasts. That's why podcasts are becoming so popular. Is because now like people, it's just like video, you know. Except for now, it's you can do this while you drive or whatever.
Yeah, and you're
so
just
now like
listening to people to have quality conversations. Well,
and now people become
conversations.
best friends with their favorite podcasters, even though they've never met them once.
yeah.
Which is cool though.
That's cool.
Like it's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And like there are so many days I get in the car and I'm like, I spend most of my time in the car, and I can show you that. And it's like, you know, some days I just don't want to. You know, you listen to music all the time. And you're like, okay, this is boring. Like I'm gonna listen. You know, I'd listen to all my podcasts in the car, and it's so nice. Like I was listening to Rogan. Dan Aykroyd was on there.
Mm-hmm.
Super interesting episode. He's super into like UFOs and stuff.
I love it.
Don't believe any of that stuff, but like was super interesting to listen to
Right.
somebody be so knowledgeable about something along those lines. Like I would have
See-
never guessed that would have been the conversation.
Like I listen to like Pat McAfee and all of his buddies all the time.
Pat
I mean, he's so
He's
funny.
so
Yes.
funny.
And they're here in Indianapolis,
Yeah.
so like it's just fun to just like listen to
His
him and this and that.
Twitter cracks
Oh my
me
God.
up.